Okay guys, Fuller coming to you with another video. Shout out to the whole LDBC. Make sure you guys build a profile on the boxing community. And also go ahead and download that app too on either your iPhone or your Android. So today, man, is a very special day. Very special, man. What I'm gonna say is that today is a celebration of sorts. It is Eritrean Independence Day. And for people who don't know about Eritrea, it is an East African country which wants to do something that many African countries are afraid to do, and that is develop its own self with grassroots means, with sovereignty, and another thing that other African nations are afraid to do, learning from its own mistakes, correcting it as it goes along. Basically learning step by step. Because of this, it's been labeled the Cuba of Africa, it's been labeled the North Korea of Africa, all because it does not want to follow the same routes that other African countries follow, which is IMF, which is World Bank, which is humanitarian aid, which is really disguised as humanitarian debt at the end of the day, right? And because of this, it's been sanctioned so much, by the usual suspects. United States, of course, and some European nations too. But that's not to say that there isn't any internal disagreements there. I would be crazy to say if the country is perfect. But inshallah, I do plan on going there. I do plan on visiting, Although I'm from the west side of Africa, I don't want to neglect the east side, And this country is the one that is on my list, most definitely. Made for some good vlogging and some good things like that. People get this wrong perspective that you can't videotape or something there, and it's nothing farther from the truth, But anyhow, Eritrea, man, is a special place, man. A lot of biblical history is there. A lot of people think that, all of the biblical history took place in Ethiopia, but no, most of it took place in Eritrea. We fast forward to Islam, and, it is believed that, when the companions of the Prophet, upon him be peace, they didn't necessarily land in what is today known as Ethiopia. Chances are it was in Eritrea that they landed, when they were fleeing persecution. And I read that in a book, and the book also showed the first mosque that was there too. Now, what needs to be said is that, the area was, of course, known as Habasha at one time. And of course, due to colonialism, it was separated into different parts, They had different parts of it. Somalia was carved out, Ethiopia was carved out. And at one point, Ethiopia laid ownership to Eritrea. during the colonial struggle, the Ethiopians fought against the Italians, and they were victorious against the Italians. Many people say that Ethiopia was not colonized, but that's sure, they weren't colonized on paper, but they were for sure colonized, because Haile Selassie, the guy who they call Rastafari, he actually brokered a deal which annexed Eritrea to the Italians, or it could have been, I don't want to speak too much on it, but I believe that, it was either that he annexed Eritrea to the Italians, or he annexed it to the British. The fact of the matter is, he gave land to colonizers. If you give land to colonizers, guess what? You're colonized. That's just the reality of it. If anything, you would try to help your African brethren in for sovereignty and the right to govern itself, not hand it over to people who have no good intentions with that land. But, with this being said, when Eritrea wanted to have its sovereignty and wanted to have its independence and wanted to have its basically its right to govern, they had to not only fight against colonial powers, they had to fight against Ethiopia as well. And that civil war was a long civil war, a long drawn out civil war. And what happened is you had different movements at the time. You had the ELF, you had a couple of other movements in Eritrea. But what they did is they decided to consolidate those movements into the EPLF, Eritrean People Liberation Front. And this story really touches me the most, because you had different tribal confederacies who may have spoke different languages, may have had different belief systems, but they came together for a common goal, and that was liberation. And it's sad, that it's a beautiful thing that they did that, but nowadays we can't do that. Anywhere in Africa you look, mostly there's always some kind of religious conflict, or there's always some kind of religious undertone for the problems we're going through. But here you have a group who were Muslim, a group who were Orthodox Christian, a group who still held on to their indigenous beliefs, all coming together for one common cause. So that's what I'm saying, that doctrine should not matter. Results should matter. The fight of being able to practice your faith freely, no matter what your faith is the ultimate goal at the end of the day, right? And I think this is why too, that a majority of fellow Africans too from the continent, and also Black Americans are drawn off by me, because I subscribe to a belief system they don't necessarily agree with, and that they don't consider woke, that they don't consider conscious enough, or whatever the case may be. That's neither here nor there. I always say, to you be your way, to me be my way. And I also say that, what they believe and stuff like that doesn't concern me, as long as you don't interfere with what I'm trying to do, And, this whole concept of being woke and stuff like that, it's just a broad concept that needs to really be examined. And I look at the EPLF at the time of them fighting not only Ethiopia, but fighting an Ethiopia that is backed by Russia, okay? And it's also backed by, I believe it was, the United States, the United States as well. Not only are you fighting a country, you're fighting a country backed by two superpowers, Now, mind you, in that fight, the Eritreans have meager means to do that. They have very meager means. But then, more support came, some were trained in China, for different things. And contrary to the belief, this is contrary to what people believe. A lot of people think that, Cuba actually assisted in, Ethiopia, bombardment of Eritrea. Honestly, Cuba only assisted in schooling and training, but mind you, Cuba also helped Eritrea in this same department as well. The political affairs they stayed out of. When it came to the technicalities and medical and stuff like that, that's where they were involved. But what I can say is that I really mess with Eritrea as, being from West Africa. And this is the reason. This is a couple of reasons why. Number one, you see someone, you see a nation who's trying to do it on their own. They don't want no help from outside. They know that the citizens themselves recognize their reality more than anybody else can. More than the United Nations can, more than NATO can, more than the IMF can, more than the World Bank can, more than humanitarian aid can. Number two, and this is no disrespect, but this is just speaking on past experiences and just dealing with them. But I have found that Ethiopians, for the most part, have a superiority complex to different Africans, okay? Including myself. According to them, they are admixtures of Arabs. They are, have Caucasianoid DNA. They are, I want to say, basically not African, basically not black African, basically not sub-Saharan African. In fact, one Ethiopian guy, mind you, straight from Ethiopia, he actually claimed Yemeni descent, but guess what? Did not speak a lick of Arabic at all. Could not hold a conversation in Arabic, but yet was still claiming that he's Yemeni. So go figure. But with Eritreans, I did not have that. I have not had that experience. I think due to their struggle, they have, I want to say due to their history, they have a more laid back, more, chilled approach to things. I kid you not, I was in Venice Beach one time, and I was like, what the heck? Wow. I was in Venice Beach. I was at my friend's store, he's from Gambia. And he was talking the same way, that how I was talking about Eritreans, that they're solid people, they're 100%, they're thorough people. I mean, because at one time he was living in Germany, and the first help he got, he said, was from Eritrean, right? And there was an Eritrean there, Now, mind you, I kid you not, that Eritrean man looked like he belonged in, looked like he belonged straight out of Saudi Arabia. I kid you not. But he identified with Eritrean, he identified with African, but he had all the Arabic features, right? But I understand he would have the Arabic features because at one time, all Arabia was an Ethiopian colony, or let's just say like an East African colony. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't even call Arabia West Asia. I mean, it's basically an extension of Africa that got separated from the Red Sea. So people had interactions, But mind you, he was still the same way, still thorough, still didn't look at it at like us in a superiority complex or anything like that. And still shocked, with my look, And even Eritreans, man, they invited me to their festivities even, man. I remember when, I went to a festivity, right? And, one of the elders there, she just grabbed me and, kissed me like I was part of the family. I'm like, wow, man, these people are hospitable, man. For real. They're chill, man. Very chill. I remember I was in Santa Monica. I met one Eritrean. She was from Germany. I was just calm, cool, collected. I just asked her, yo, are you on Facebook and stuff like that? And she's like, yeah, I'll give you my Facebook. We can talk on there and stuff like that. There was another Eritrean in Hawthorne. I had to do something with my computer, something like that, with my computer or something. And she was even like, even trying to get into some kind of business ideas and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, man, these people are chill. These people are open, And I'm sorry to say, Ethiopians, man, and Samoans, you don't get the same thing, man. Yeah, I think that's not their fault. I think it's the fact that, Eritrea, what they went through shaped their character, Although they're from the same geographical area, I think it's just the dynamics that they went through kind of shaped how they are. I'll give you another example. There was one who I knew, and she even said, I get down with the Senegalese, I get down with the Nigerians, man. She said, I like going to Nigeria and stuff. My father works there, this, that, and the other. I'm like, wow. That's the first, to hear that from, an East African. So, yeah, man, I really mess with the people, bro. For real. Heavy. They look at themselves as black Africans for the most part, man. I haven't heard one say anything else. Even the ones who do speak Arabic, they still look at themselves as black Africans. Another reason why I mess with Eritrea so tough, I messed with Eritrea before he came on the scene, even before I heard him and stuff like that. But of course, Eritrea, one of the best, I'm going to mention him. You know, one of Eritrea's best sons is Nipsey Hussle, man. And you know, he's an embodiment of what he was an embodiment of what Eritrea was trying to achieve. You know, self-sufficiency, grassroots, doing for self, being taking control of your destiny, your own destiny. You know, so most definitely that's another reason why I like Eritrea. It's definitely some of the reasons why I can say I mess with Eritrea. Real talk, man. Let me see, what else am I leaving off? Anything else? Well, I'm gonna say this. They got some beautiful women. As I said, the one that I met in Santa Monica, man, the reason why I asked her for her Facebook, man, is because she was beautiful, man. I'm not gonna lie, they got some pretty women, man. And they're chill, they're laid back, you know. You see them, but you don't see them that much, but they're there, you know. Yeah, man, I like that. So yeah, the women are definitely pretty, you know. Oh yeah, man, another thing that happened, you know, in my coaching duties, there was actually a Eritrean woman who had a son who was running, you know. That woman used to bring me like treats every day. Like when there was a track meet, she would bring like some sweets or something like that. And so I at the end of the season, I'm like, yeah, this is my auntie, and she just agreed, you know. And yeah, man, definitely had some good experiences, man. It just sucks right now. Eritrea is like, they're a victim of a couple of things, man. They're a victim of internal dissension. They're a victim of especially this big propaganda machine here. And they're also just a victim of, you know, some people who went into the revolution for all the wrong reasons, you know. But anyhow, that's all I got, man. All I gotta say is Happy Independence Day of Eritrea, man. And I ask the Most High to alleviate their problems, man, and get them to the point where they wanted to be, which was self-sufficient, sovereign nation, and a prosperous nation, you know, and one that truly had people power. You know what I mean? But that's all I got for now, man. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. I'll probably do like another sport video after this one, but then the next video is going to be about an incredible individual. You can expect to have that on the 26th of this month. Fula signing out.